Hi there YouTube, Musical Aviator here. We're on the ground here in King Island, Tasmania, and we'll be flying on to the main Tasmanian islands today. Heading down to firstly Smithton and then on to Wynyard, Burnie. Two cities. Technically it's Wynyard, it's right next to Wynyard. Anyhow, hello to Toilet Inspector, who's off on a meeting right now, and Jake Palmer, who's having a look at Qantas 7474, the last of Qantas's 747s. It took off for the last time from Sydney today, and it actually taxied up, taxiway Charlie, crossed runway 16, went down taxiway Alpha, crossed runway 07 twice, and then on to runway 16 right for takeoff. Flew over Sydney Harbour twice, went down to the Haas Museum at Wollongong, passed over the field at Wollongong at about 1,000 feet, and then went and did this. That's a bit of a surprise. They've gone and drawn the kangaroo with the arms. So that's not the current kangaroo. That's the one that is on the tail of the actual 747. So pre-2016 livery. Very nice to see. I see they put the tail somewhere up near Port Macquarie or so. And now they're going to head out to America to drop it off at the Mojave Desert. But yeah, a bit exciting to see so much activity with that. Took off, went around over the top of the airfield again, and then over Sydney Harbour, big loop around the northern suburbs and back up across Sydney Harbour a second time, down the Wollongong Haas, what they call it now, Shoalhaven Airfield, and into the Qantas Kangaroo. Anyway, we're not going to be doing that today. We're going to be flying to Tasmania. So, here is our flight plan. We're currently at King Island. I'll be flying over the top of, I think that's Hunter Island, then down to Smithton, stopping at Smithton, and then heading out to Wynyard. Of course, we have our flight plan. We're going to be full stop at Smithton, possibly refueling as well. We're going to have 37 gallon of fuel on board today. It's already in the aircraft, and we're going to refuel at Smithton. We'll probably be arriving at Smithton with about 30 gallon of fuel. Anyhow, with that done, let's jump out. Little tiny, what's that, Toyota Barina? Yeah, it's going to Mojave. Top wallop. Nice. Anyway, hello to Daddy and Aaron and Spencer, Lockheed. I hope you're doing well. Let's merge through this fence. Have a Metroliner over there today. Don't know why that doesn't have a landing gear, but there you go. So it's Wednesday, 22nd of July 2020. Melbourne is still in lockdown. I think we're at, week 3 of 6? Not quite halfway yet. The 400 today, 747-400. Qantas never owned the Dash 8. That's true. Thanks, Jake Palmer, for reminding me. It's a 400ER. Only Qantas ever had the 400ER as a passenger aircraft. I do wonder what that box is. Is it the honesty box for paying your airport fee? I've heard of some airfields having something like that. Cool, let's jump on in and get ourselves some landing. Grab them power. Drop the flaps. Brakes are in. Power's off. And let's do the walk around. Pitot is off, and it's a little cold. Let's turn the pitot heat on for a couple of seconds. Yep, nice and warm. It's going to jump out the front. Yep, lights are doing well. Jump back in, turn that off, and we'll do the full walk around. Cool, hinges on the back are looking good. Flaps happy. Flaps connected. Ailerons. Tie down is off. Wheel chocks are off. Fuel drain, everything there is fuel. It's all the right colour. Up the top here we're looking at how much fuel is on board. Yeah, it's about half a tank, maybe a little more than half. Oil's looking great. That's all fuel. Props looking okay. Static port is fine. Up the top, check it in there. Looking fine. $18 gallons per tank roughly. Cool, that's looking fine. Wheel chock is off. Stall system up there. Little drain just under the back of the strut. Funny. I know PMDG is good, but one thing that they're not really known for is being really fast. I'd say they're going to release their 737 about 6 months after. Lucky to get it before Christmas. Okay, let's run a check. Make sure you've got your life vest. Let's talk about life vests. We'll be flying over water today. In preparation for any issues, we have life vests on board. If we do need to ditch the aircraft, it may come to a rest upside down. In the flip upside down, it's likely that the frame will warp. So, in preparation for water landing, I'll ask that you make sure your seatbelt is entirely strapped down as tight as it can get, because you don't want to be flung around the cabin. I'll then ask you to open the door before we touch the water. I'll probably make that request at about 500 feet. Pull the latch open, give it a good kick with your elbow, and then take your elbow back in, because that door will kick back in, but at least it'll be ajar. If you find yourself hanging upside down, breathing seawater, get out of the plane as fast as you can. There are two doors, one on the left, one on the right. If we do make it out of the aeroplane and we need to, there's still an aeroplane, that's like in the shape of an aeroplane, meet at the tail, because at the front of the aircraft is a big spinny prop. You don't want to get minced up by that. Cool. Make sure that you don't open your life vest before getting out of the aircraft, otherwise it may pin you to the ceiling. Assuming we're all happy to continue on and head on down to Tassie. Good stuff. Let's go. Obviously there won't be any toilet time between now and landing at Smithton. Smithton is approximately 45 minutes away from takeoff, so an hour from now. Alrighty, cold engine. We'll run the fuel primer, making sure that's ready. That's happy. Weight and balance is good. Parking brake is set. Control wheel lock is removed. Avionics are off. Ignition is off. Master switch is on. Static pressure alternate source valve is off. Fuel quantity, as advised, about 18 gallons per side. Now to the test. Fuel selector set to both. Shut-off valve is in the normal position. And engine start. Throttle cracked slightly. Everything out there is clear. Clear prop. And we'll close this window because it's freezing out there. 10 degrees Celsius. Feels less. Flaps coming up. Yep, good old Tassie getting some attention. Don't worry, in a couple of weeks we'll be having a big event down there. 2 weeks time. Hobart and Launceston. Okay, pretty simple flight plan today. We are flying directly to Smithton. Sorted. King Align PCL, good. Come down here, just going to reduce the mixture a little. Settle it back to 1000 RPM. Navs are on. Beacon is in. Just checking the heading. Showing 115. And I'll just grab the phone. And now the ATIS.
Automated Weather Information Service, King Island Airport. Time 0808 Zulu. Wind 220 degrees magnetic at 9 knots. Visibility 25 kilometers. Present weather. No significant weather. Cloud broken 3,500 feet. Overcast 4,400 feet. Temperature 10. Dew point 6. QNH 1026 hectopascals. Rainfall 10 minutes.
Alright, QNH 1026, wind 220 at 9. Cloud is 3,500. Elevation 132, that's showing up fine. And the runway 28, obviously. So probably, yeah, just enter from there, but do the backtrack. We'll stay at 2,500, I reckon. Thanks, Auckland. Hashtag winds are calm at 9 knots. Lol. Okay, 1200 set. Got the CTAF set. We've got Melbourne 1253. Don't need a DME because there's no VOR down here. 10 degrees good. Alright, last bit of the checklist. Flaps are retracted. Seatbelts and doors, check secure. All good. Flight controls. And I think I need somewhere to look at the flight controls.
Traffic Cherokee Papa
There we go.
Rolling runway 28 before departure to the southeast. Upward departure, King Island traffic.
Traffic King Island, language 712, top runway 28 behind departing pilot killer.
That's looking good. I'll do the rudders as well.
Traffic.
Fuel quantity is good. Mixture is going to get there. Alright, I'll taxi out. King Island traffic. Juliet Kilo November is a Cessna 172 on the grass apron. We'll be taxiing out to runway 28. Let's check where we are. That's our runway. Got to stick 28 in there. Got to find a nice bit of tarmac that isn't loose metal to do
King
our
Island
run-ups.
traffic, Cherokee Papa, off ramp, passing through 2,200, departing upwind to the south-southeast, direct Smithton Airport. King Island traffic.
Traffic King Island, let me start depart from the 28 right hand downwind towards Smithton.
Right here wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, let's do it from here. Let's check behind us, nothing happening. Cool. Mr. Rich.
King Island traffic, aircraft was Tango, Cessna 172, taxis runway 28.
Happy for that. Yeah, 32928. Set. Alright, after departure, looking for a heading of 121. King Island traffic, Juliet Kilo November, Cessna 172 entering a runway 28, backtrack.
Traffic King Island, let me start 5 mid downwind through 1,300, climbing 3,500 to Smithton. King Island.
Okay, before we enter, let's turn some lights on. Fuel pump, Mr. Rich. Okay, seats all ready, all happy to go. One last squeeze at the checklist before takeoff. Mixture is rich, fuel selector set both. Throttle's done, throttle, yeah. Elevator trim. Trim is set for takeoff. Flaps up, and we're good to go. Already made the entry call. No one's replied to it. Hi there, this is the air-to-air Cessna 172 A2A. Very nice Cessna. Basically I've flown the real Juliet Kilo November, which has all the same equipment that this one does. It's pretty cool. King Island traffic, Juliet Kilo November, runway 28, departing left-hand downwind. Let's go. $60 knots.
King Island traffic, aircraft for Tango, enters runway 28 backtrack. correction for live topic.
Hi there, flying aviator. I've got a student's parts license. I never converted it to the full PPL. I kind of stopped flying about 11 or 12 years ago. I should get back into it. Budget. Especially now that we can get dispensation on our medicals since 2018. The current 2018 onwards rules, I can fly an aircraft this size once again.
King Island traffic, aircraft for Tango departs from A2A for a right downward departure. Right downward departure to south.
Okay, time is 2:0 on the dot. King Island traffic, Juliet Kilo November is passing at 1,500 on climb 2,500, tracking to Smithton on heading at 120. Okay, based on time 20:28. Oh, the math is too easy, man. Bunch of beepers. Losing some mixture there.
King Island traffic, aircraft for Tango climbing through 1,400 for 2,500 direct system.
And that there is a GTN 650. Real one has one. Not to say that all Cessnas have a 650, just Juliet Kilo November in particular does. You can see videos of me flying the real aeroplane in Hotel Tango Mike on the channel. It's a fair way back, like 2015 odd, but still. It's a bit cold out. 6 degrees.
Traffic shortly goes by the Child Metro line.
Old Nathaniel in his Metro liner. Okay, this thing will get a 110 to 112 knots of ground speed. We're actually getting 120. Gonna pull it back a bit. It's going to get some relief here.
Shot 895 at runway 28.
And we can concentrate on other stuff. Time 26. Gonna adjust our speed here, I reckon. Because we're doing a little bit more than 112, not too much more, it's 115. No, it's not too bad actually, it's about right. Maybe add 2 knots. So we leave King Island behind us and head back out into the Bass Straits. Starting midnight tonight, wearing a mask, face covering when you go outside is now legally enforceable by the police. Time 28. And we're out over the water. I'm going to go ahead and call that on time. Next position should be 50. Man, that math is way too easy. So I should be arriving in Smithton at around about time 03 according to that. 02 according to this, but you know, the wind will change as we come across the island of Tasmania. Yep, we've got our life jacket. It is deflated and then on the lap. Got an ELT unit that will automatically go off as soon as it gets wet. Both one with the aircraft and also one wearing it. So there's our ELT right here. That's the aircraft one. Basically the idea is if you end up having to make a forced landing onto the sea, stay with the aircraft as much as you can. And we're going to switch over to Melbourne Centre now, 1253. And if we do have any engine issues, we'll immediately declare it a mayday on Melbourne Centre with our position. So on a heading of 121 from King Island, and whatever the distance is to Smithton. So stay with Melbourne Centre. Yeah, we're flying VFR. Weather of the destination is probably better than is here. At least according to the forecast. Alright, the next bit of land that we see will be a little rock called Black Pyramid. Whether we see it or not will depend on how murky it is, but it'll be just off to the right hand side of the aircraft. After that will be Hunter Island. After punting, heading over Hunter Island, we'll then cross over to Robbins Island, and after Robbins Island, Tasmania. Hudson, g'day, how you doing? The extreme lower edge of VHF coverage at the moment. Just checking the weather up there. We do believe that those clouds are sitting up 3,500. They are raising the closer we get to Tassie. I've listened to Smithton AWIS, see how high up we can get. It's reading messages from people talking about QF7474. Got a bunch of them.
Automated Weather Information Service, Smithton Airport, time 0833 Zulu, wind 230 degrees magnetic at 11 knots, temperature 8, dew point 8, QNH 1025 hectopascals, rainfall last 10 minutes nil, automated weather...
Yeah, so no cloud below 12,000 essentially, that we know of. QNH was 1025. Check the heading. Showing 125 in a bit. And heading 121 still. Just monitoring Melbourne Centre. It's more the point that we have it tuned already, so if we do need to declare a mayday, we can get our calls out. So the practice it would be Juliet Kilo November, Mayday, 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 Cessna Juliet Kilo November is on a heading 121 outbound from King Island, 48 miles from Smithton, going down and whatever altitude is. And probably like an estimate for our water landing in however many minutes it is for the vertical speed to hit the zero.
Quarter 250, back in the flight.
Hi Captain AB, don't worry, I'm just doing a practice of what I'd say during an emergency. But the idea is that you start with Mayday, 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 then you take the call sign, Juliet Kilo November, Cessna 172 is outbound from King Island, 121 degrees, and then our distance from Smithton, 45 miles from Smithton.
240, correction, thanks, 102.
Descending out however many feet per minute due to whatever it is, engine fire, whatever. So we're about not quite halfway there, about 1 minute short of halfway. So at the moment we would do a U-turn and come back. That's not IMC. I can see plenty of water down there. The horizon is a bit meh. Seen better horizons before. It's a bit murky. One minute to halfway. Not halfway to Smithton, halfway to Hunter Island. So during this next 60 seconds we would still turn back to King Island if we had any rough running. We're about to hit equal time point between the two. Six kVs, yeah, that's about, yeah, it's definitely less than 10. It's more than 3. So yeah, 6 is about right. Time 41. We are now at the halfway. It'd now be quicker to continue straight ahead if we had any issues. The nearest land is out the front window. Time 41. We'll be overhead Hunter Island at time 50. Yeah, typical Tasmania weather, especially this time of year. I mean, it's a wonderful place. I bet it's been snowing down south, but you know, not fun to fly in. "39 nautical miles to Smithton." There's Hunter Island up there. Have once again neglected to look at Twitch. If you're on Twitch, I'm here now, bye. Oh, there's only me. Okay, never mind. Good looking kangaroo that they made there. Five minutes out. Probably time to get sorted out with our arrival. Wind 230, I'm going to be landing on runway 24 clearly. Coming in from this direction, so yeah, we're already on the dead side. We can do a midfield downwind. South 119.1. Lockheed, are you leaning out your engine properly? That would be the only reason that I can imagine for a failure with a 172. If you're flying the Cherokee, I'd start talking about icing as well. Carburetor icing. But this modern Cessna 172, it's got a fuel pump instead of a carburetor. Direct fuel injected. I don't lean it to 65%. I keep leaning it until that little knob right here stops going upwards and starts coming back downwards again. So I'm reducing it, it's going upwards, and you can hear the engine note changed. The fact that it went down means it's bad, so I'm going to bring it back up again. Which is to say, at full pelt, we have about, what's that, 2300 RPM. If I bring the lever back, you'll see that the RPM drops at some point. That's too lean. So you can bring it back up a little bit until it restores. Then you come back up here and make sure that you can drop this by about 20 degrees or so. Right about there. So I was increasing it to reduce the EGT. The more you lean it out, the higher the EGT goes until it stops working really. But if you're leaning to the point that your RPM drops, then that's probably not handbook stuff. So you want to come up to the peak EGT, which is you're pulling the lever backwards and the EGT is coming up. Then you're pulling the lever backwards and it comes back down again. So you want to go back to the peak and then a little bit more. 20 degrees. That's running rich of peak. I've heard some people talk about lean of peak. That's a weird concept, and it's not something that I was ever taught. So rich of peak it is. You don't want to set right on the peak because that'll overheat your engine eventually. Miles out. There we go. Time 50. We're crossing the coastline of Hunter Island. Next position will be Robbins Island. Is that Robbins Island? Don't think it is. Yes, it is. Robbins Island. We'll be on the far end of Robbins Island, so flying all the way over it, and that'll put us about 9 miles out to go. Five minutes worth. Still time 2:02. Jervis Will on Twitch, yes, very much looking forward to the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. In fact, the plan is to almost immediately jump back into the new Flight Simulator to run a second round of this flight around Australia. That'll be runway 24 and 1191. How did I end up with Sydney Airport then? About 10 minutes out. So yeah, can't wait to see the new Flight Simulator. It'll be good to see how they do the scenery, because screenshots have been pretty good. It'd be nice to get their hands on it. And yeah, default aircraft for a while, but you know, eventually more and more add-ons will be released. Soon enough we'll be flying a air-to-air Cessna 172 around, I'm sure. Smithton, no. Smithton traffic, Juliet Kilo, November, so Cessna 172, 2,500 feet, approximately 20 miles to the northwest of Smithton, over Hunter Island. Estimating circuit time 03. We'll be positioning for a mid-downwind runway 24. Traffic Smithton. Okay, so have a look at this. We have 125, I'll say. Cool.
With the traffic check at the bar off runway, join left crossing runway 24 with the traffic.
This is Robbins Island.
Limited flight is put on 210 miles to the northwest of the field. Inbound for runway 24, joining west crosswinds, shortly descending
Time
from
58, so about 4 minutes out and we'll be 10 miles. Flying Aviator, PMDG are going to make you pay more money for it to work on the new flight simulator. Coronado, no idea, but I'm sure they'll release something pretty soon. PMDG is working on, I think, the 737 first, so you'll have the 737 NGX U as such. I think you're going to call it NG3, so it's going to be 737 NG3. So it's technically being released as a new product, which is why they're going to charge you more money again. They're here to make money, not friends. That said, if you have the NGXU already, you will get a full refund on the NGXU by purchasing the new upgrade. So essentially, if they release the new product for, say, $150 and the old one was $140, whatever it was, you pay them $10 and you got yourself a new sim. Don't quote me on those prices, I made them up. But you get a full discount of your previous purchase towards the next one. Only for the 737. No idea of the 747, triple, whatever else they're doing.
Rod. Shut up.
Blog. A dark river. As we pass the outer shore line, we'll be 10 miles from Smithton. And it'll be 1 minute from now.
If the traffic circuit, but also that is final on actually for myself.
Smithton traffic, Juliet Kilo November, 10 miles to the northwest of the field at 2,500. We'll be positioning from the dead side to join a midfield downwind of runway 24. Traffic Smithton. Auto bars off. So since we're descending, all I really did then was turn the autopilot off, reduce a bunch of power, so about 2,000 RPM now, and because we're descending, I'm going to reintroduce full rich mixture. We'll eventually need it anyway. Looking for Perkins Island as well. I think it's that one there.
Traffic Smithton, limit step departure left crossing.
Township of Smithton is seen and it's on this side of the township.
Descending is through 3,000.
So given that's the township, airfield should be about here. Somewhere like there. Airfield is 31 feet above sea level, we'll call it 0.
With the traffic, Cherokee Papa Alpha is clear of runway 24.
Honeycomb flight yoke, it's what I'm using right now, it's a very nice flight yoke. If you already have a flight yoke, you don't probably need to upgrade it, but if you don't have one or you have one that broke like mine, it's a great yoke. I like it. Nice kind of lowish to mid-range price and good quality.
Smithton traffic, Echo Alpha Tango, Cessna 172, 10 miles to the northwest.
It doesn't have
Joining
throttles,
Macquarie,
so if
right
you're
downwind
relying
runway
on
24.
throttle accessories on the yoke itself, like the CH1 did, you'll need a new throttle. There's something to think of there. We need to stay at 1005, just realised.
Traffic Smithton, my Mr. Par turns downwind runway 24.
Smithton. 172 gang on the last cherry. That's cool. Cherokee's a nice aeroplane. I would have flown it, but you know, 172. It's been a while since I've been in Juliet Kilo November. Three miles out. Traffic Smithton, Juliet Kilo November is 1500. We'll be passing overhead the runway, then joining midfield downwind runway 24.
Traffic Smithton, my Mr. Par turns back runway 24. Smithton.
Indeed, RIP 747 Qantas. It's on the way to America to be stored. Yeah, I watched it live as well. Would have been there if we hadn't been locked down in Melbourne. It also would have been November. If COVID hadn't happened. Traffic Smithton, Juliet Kilo November is turning downwind runway 24. Okay, checklist.
Traffic Smithton, my Mr.
Brakes
Par
are
runway
released,
24.
undercarriages fixed, mixture full rich, pump is on, fuel is set to both, instruments set, seats and harnesses are secure. Turned in too hard.
System traffic, Echo Alpha Tango 2 miles, 1,500 feet, joining right downwind, correction, joining mid right downwind runway 24.
Aircraft on final is spotted. I'll extend the downwind to give him a bit more room. Yep, I did the New Year's Day flight, so that was January the 1st. I did enjoy that. Posted some photos of it. Yeah, I did post a couple of videos of it from inside the cabin as well. Didn't have a window seat though. I was a little bit far from the window. But that's alright, got some shots. Traffic Smithton, Juliet Kilo November turning at base runway 24. Pretty much all we need. We'll come all the way around. Came around too early. Perhaps 10. Smithton traffic, Juliet Kilo November, final runway 24.
Traffic Smithton, Lima Sierra Papa vacated.
Smithton traffic, Echo Alpha Tango joins base runway 24.
We'll keep it going. Don't know about the version. I might get the most expensive one. It's only what, $30 more. You're basically buying an add-on 787 and a bit of scenery. Okay, I want to be quite quick because the other guy's already turned base a little while back. It's a wide base, but it's still a base. For some reason it's a right base. All the flaps.
Smithton traffic, Echo Alpha Tango joins a 1 mile final runway 24. Full stop. Smithton.
Where's the exit? Looking for it. I think it's there. Got it. Smithton traffic, Juliet Kilo November, vacated runways. Laps coming up.
Smithton traffic, Echo Alpha Tango is vacated runway 24. Taxi to the bay.
That's right, we've got a metro liner coming in here. Stop there and push it back. Catch you around. Let's drop it and have a look around. Meet you at the tower. Mr. Spinny Man. Yeah, spinning the other direction at least. Nope. Nope. Cool, where is the fuel bowser? It's only a 15-minute flight to the other airport, so we don't even need it. Hi there, Sharon Ralph. Not sure about the 18th of August, but we'll be getting pretty close to it. Let's see. On the 8th of August, we'll be flying between Hobart and Launceston. So that's an aimed target because we've got an event on. Then we just need to get back to Melbourne, Essendon, in a week and a bit, which I think is just doable. We might relax that time frame to the end of August, but certainly by the end of August we'll be done. And then we'll be doing round 2. And because Tasmania will be fresh in everybody's mind, I'm thinking we'll start the journey backwards. So I'll start off by coming back down to Tassie. We probably won't get this wonderful building in the new sim, but we'll probably have a lot nicer in-flight scenery. We're only just not even, we're more than halfway, we're about 3/4 of the way through the flight. The next flight will be to Wynyard during this stream, and it's only a 15-minute flight. 20 minutes maybe at the worst. I'm sure someone will make an ATR at some point, even if it is just Coronado. The front of Smithton. Jumped over the fence, even though I could have just gone through that gate. Nice little airport building. It's a little, tiny little building. That's not too bad. Anyway, we're off to Wynyard now. So Wynyard's quite interesting in once upon a time, back in the 1980s and 90s, back when Tasmania had a railway system that worked and existed and wasn't completely shut down and bankrupt. During that era, the railway that went through Wynyard went straight through one of the runways at Wynyard. They figured that was a bad idea, so after it had been like that for many, many, many years, they eventually shortened the runway at Wynyard, and then a few years later, the runway stopped running. And so now they've got a shorter runway to avoid the railway that doesn't work. Yeah, doing Flinders back to Victoria, probably via Yarram and at least Tyab. Probably Lilydale as well, because one of our guys' dads flies out of there, so it'd be nice to visit his airfield. Might do Coldstream even, because it's weird. TCM's doing circles. Cool, he's in the holding pattern. We will start up, make our way out to Wynyard. Let's change flight plan. Here on the flight plan log, we're going to be heading essentially eastbound, doing 110 knots indicated. That'll give us a ground speed of about 120, and we have 15 minutes of flying time. Tyab's not closed. We were literally there in March at the air show. The only reason it's closed now is because of COVID, like everything else. Yes, there's an airport noise church group that keeps on writing to the council, but they've been writing to the council for many a year, and they've gotten nowhere, which is the right place for them to be. Alright, the aircraft hasn't got any new fuel in it. We only had the park and brake on. We will clear the prop. Clear prop! So yeah, don't worry about Tyab. We had the full air show there. 2020. 1 weekend before the first lockdown. Literally 1 weekend before the first lockdown. How do I remember that? Because I was there. It was the last major thing that I did before lockdown. I had tickets to go to see the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra the weekend after that, and I still have those tickets on my desk because we never went because we were in lockdown by then. Taxi lights in. So yeah, Tyab's happy and safe and will be an airport for decades to come. Where is my mask? Good idea.
Traffic system, Cherokee Papa Alpha Romeo, doing a cheeky and backtracking runway 10 to runway 24, traffic system.
I like Wynyard. YWYY. Easy. 15 minutes away. It's only 30 miles. 1000 RPM. 2500. Should be 3500, but that cloud base was sitting at 3000 odd. 3600. So I'll stay down here. Still don't need DME. Checking the heading.
Smithton, Lima Sierra Papa, backtracking runway 28.
It's a 176 or 170. Yeah, that's about right. About there. Runway 24 set. Actually going to go 090. So it's going to be a left-hand downwind. Just checking something on this. Right-hand circuits. Alright, I can do that. That's head on out. Hello Rossi, head on.
Smithton traffic, aircraft at Tango, Cessna 172, taxis, runway 24.
One option would be to track down the runway, the other runway, and backtrack it. Let's run up right here. Just checking behind us before we do. Yep, there's nothing back there. Cool.
Just Smithton, Limited, Park rolling line 28 with joining right hand downwind towards Burnie. Smithton.
Traffic Smithton, Cherokee Papa Alpha Romeo, lining up behind the departing Cessna runway 28. Smithton.
28. These and 28, we better take the big long taxiway.
Traffic.
Smithton traffic. Juliet Cal November crossing runway 28 and then continuing down to 24. Yeah, Spencer, that's the only reason TAS closed is COVID.
Smithton traffic after the crossing.
Otherwise, it's going to be open again one day.
28, upwind departure to the east. Smithton traffic.
Smithton traffic, aircraft Tango, hold short, runway 28.
Smithton traffic, Limited, Park climbing through 1,000 to 3,500 direct Burnie. Smithton.
Traffic.
Bish told you it was closed. Funny. Some people think that you can't get into Taradan. Like it's impossible to do. It's like, yeah. There's literally a Stefan Jury video about that.
Traffic.
Needs prior permission? Yeah, you ring them up. That's all that happens. So I want to fly my plane, registration number given, to your airfield. And they go, alright, what time? You tell them what time you'll get there, roughly. Then they'll give you a amount of money that you should pay them. And then you go there. The end. Smithton traffic, Juliet Kilo November entering N to backtrack runway 24. Traffic, Smithton.
Smithton traffic, aircraft Tango crosses runway 28.
Smithton traffic, Cherokee Papa Alpha Romeo climbing through 1,800 on an upwind departure to the east, climbing 3,000. Smithton traffic.
Too much. $10. Yeah. I've seen plenty of worse than $10 before. Smithton traffic, Juliet Kilo November. Departing runway 28. Right hand downwind departure. Alright, we'll be heading off straight ahead and then making a couple of right hand turns, passing over the field and heading back in that direction to the tail. Runway's clear. Everything's ready. You're ready. Let's go. Yeah, missed out on Macquarie on Monday. I was a bit tired, so I went to bed at about 8. 70, off we go. I'm sure it is different. It's not that different though. The runways are all the same. All the taxiways are roughly in the same place, give or take a few meters. Some things look different, less detailed, more detailed. Don't know.
System traffic, aircraft Tango lines out runway 24.
Indeed. Good old Trevor.
System traffic, aircraft Tango departs runway 24 for a right downwind departure to the east.
So the traffic to November is climbing out of 1,200 on climb 2,500, tracking eastward on the downward. Time 28. 38 to the halfway point, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 43. That's the roll. Yeah, I've seen the sunken ship. I've driven past once or twice
Traffic, aircraft
on the
Tango
way to
low
Phillip
down
Island
wind will be
in the car.
1,000 feet towards 3,500. Direct wind.
Interesting to go to Stratton in a plane. I'll do that. I did spot that lake on the way out, so I want to be a little bit further over there. That said, looking at that wonderful little, it's actually attached to the mainland, or the island of Tasmania. It's not its own little island, it's called The Nut. In fact, we might go up there and have a look at it. Why not? We've got plenty of fuel, we don't need to rush. Only 20 miles away from Wynyard. So we're going to go ahead up to a little place called, is it Spencer? Something like that. Stanley, sorry, not Spencer, Stanley. Smooth runway to run. Yeah. I've heard stories. I know someone that did training at Tredden. Just like me, didn't go all the way through to PPL. They were flying 152s down there. Put a request in? Yeah, ask away. So we're going to come up here to this little very strange, it's big chunky like hill on a headland. The town around it is Stanley, and the hill itself is sometimes known as the Nut. The N-U-T, Nut. There's even a chairlift that goes up from Stanley up to the Nut, so you don't have to walk up the top. You can walk up the top, you have to walk around like here, it takes an hour. Or you can just take the chairlift up and it takes you 5 minutes. Do an orbit of the Nut. Nut. Welcome to the Nut. As you can see, they've got a bunch of well, it's a fishing trawler boats really around the Nut. Keeping an eye on my speed. Don't want to overspeed the aircraft. No need to be doing 120 knots. So yes, a little township of Stanley, mostly fishing. There's your fishing trawlers right there in the docks. There's the road that goes up to that thing, which would be the chairlift. And the chairlift takes you from that road all the way up to the top of the Nut. Cradle Mountain, we'll be doing it. We might even be doing it next week. Go to the Nut and draw something. Yes, I'm sure you shall. That's a good question, Rossi. It's probably something I should do a video about at some point. I'll put some research in sometime next month after I finish the first leg of the tour. The first version of the tour. Version, not leg. Got a leg like 100 and something now. Yep, fuel. We'll just do fuel and aircrafts. Oh yeah, accommodation. Also landing fees for the airfields we've been to. We did land at Melbourne and Adelaide international airports. We didn't do Sydney Airport. We just did Bankstown. So that's fine. Exactly, Paul Phibbs. This is where the new Microsoft Flight Simulator will excel, because they'll be using real terrain data. This is just like general textures that are painted onto a 3D ground map. But yeah, the new sim will be absolutely amazing and spectacular, I'm sure. The good thing is the nut will be pretty early on in the tour, because it's pretty late in this tour. It'll be early in the next one. Half a gazillion dollars probably would be a lot of money. How many flight hours? That's a good question, and I'd have to once again go back and have a look at everything that we've done so far. I heard a few resets of that clock down there, and we only used Gillette Killer November for a little bit of it. That's the downside of hopping between aircraft all the time. You don't get a complete logbook of all the hours, but I can go back and look at it. I've got video evidence of every single minute. Anyway, let's do the direct 2. It wants to take us over the water. I mean, we do have our life jackets on board, but there's also no need to do that. So we'll go around. This is Crayfish Creek. Peggs Beach. Pretty sure that's Peggs Beach. Pebbly Bay just around the edge here. It's nice following on the coast. I think we'll make that a special video, a general calculation of how many hours we've done. Based on that, how much it would cost per flight hour as far as fuel is concerned and aircraft rental. We'll assume it is an aircraft rental for every aircraft type that we've done. I'm not sure if I know of any rental places that are hiring out DA-42s, but whatever. Yeah. Hello, Todd Inspector. Good to see you've joined us. How many miles out? 19 miles out. Alright, cool. So I don't need Smithton anymore, do we? We need Wynyard. We need to be on CTAF, which is 1259. That's ready. We'll have a listen to the AWIS, even though we know which direction we're landing already. We runway 27. But it's probably a good idea to have a listen. I'm using nothing but trim to steer with at the moment, and the rudders.
Automated Weather Information Service, Wynyard Airport, time 0937 Zulu, wind 270 degrees magnetic at 8 knots, visibility 25 kilometers, clouds scattered 2,400 feet, temperature 6, dew point 4, QNH 1024 hectopascals, rainfall last 10 minutes nil.
Cool, let's switch over to the CTAF. 16 miles out, time 48, 8 minutes out. Skip around to the south of that hill. That's a rocky cape up there. Sisters Beach over the top on the other side. Runway 23, it's wind 270 straight down the runway. Who in their right mind does a crosswind landing when they don't need to? And that's the runway with the train line that goes through it. They shortened the runway to get rid of the crossing for the train, but then all the train lines in Tasmania went bankrupt and they don't run trains anymore. So, that was good that did. Let's shorten the runway so it doesn't hit the train line. That's not running anymore. AWS said 270 knots at 8. The runway's 27. Couldn't get more aligned if you tried. I don't like the fact that they call it Burnie Airport, because Burnie Airport YWYY, which is in the town of Wynyard. It's not in the town of Burnie. Burnie. Fine, you want runway 23 over the railway. I'll do a touch and go. There you go. For those that didn't see it, they call this Burnie Airport, which you can see is spelled out Burnie. Correct, great Lord Doofus. They did used to run the freight train all the way through, and it used to be quite a bit of attraction. But I don't think they've run anything west of Burnie since 2000, and not much after that. 2003, I think it was. The Welsh spelling. Yeah, we can get it landed on 827 feet in a crosswind, which is directly down the long runway. Traffic Wynyard Burnie, Juliet Kilo November, Cessna 172. We are 9 miles to the west of Wynyard. Inbound to runway 23. We'll be expecting circuit time 49er. We'll join on midfield downwind, runway 23. Traffic Burnie. Nice rugged bit of coastline. Insight 1.5, big light straight ahead. Do you need me to transmit? That would be why. One two 6.9 and not 1259. There you go. Traffic Wynyard, Burnie, Juliet Kill November is a Cessna 172. We are 5 miles to the west of the field. We'll be joining runway 23 from midfield downwind and estimate circuit time 50. Traffic Wynyard.
Traffic Wynyard, chart 895, crossing runway 23 and heading on to the taxiway.
Traffic Wynyard, Lima Papa entering backtracking right. Entering runway 29 for exiting on Alpha behind the shot metro liner. Wind.
Hi, runway Donner.
Wynyard traffic, aircraft for Tango, joint space, runway 27, full stop.
Right hand circuits on 2-3.
Traffic Wynyard, Lima Sierra Papa vacated.
Chart 895, clear of all runways.
Wynyard traffic, aircraft for Tango, joint final, runway 27, full stop.
Okay, mixture fully rich. Brakes are released, undercarriage is fixed, mixture fully rich. Pump is on. Fuel set to both. Seats and harnesses are secure. Runway inside. Moving traffic, Juliet Kill November is on downwind runway 23, right hand downwind. Indeed, arms. And last 747 is, well, drew a kangaroo on the way out, which would be cool.
Traffic Papa Alpha runway final runway 23 full stop.
He's way out there, okay.
Wynyard traffic, Echo Alpha Tango vacator runway 27 on Alpha taxi today.
Don't like these long legs out to the water. Wynyard traffic, Juliet Kilo November, turning base runway 23. Alright, let's go to full flaps because that aircraft in front of us isn't that far ahead. Flaps 10. He's on the runway now, I think. Flaps 30. Yeah, I believe it's going to Los Angeles, and then after it gets repaired, it'll go off to the next Mojave. Wynyard traffic, Juliet Kilo November is final runway 23. Wynyard traffic.
Wynyard traffic, Papa, Freeman, clear for rendezvous.
In the good old days, you could put the airplane right down on that bit of white concrete and then go over the railway. But nowadays, you've got this big displaced threshold because there's the railway going through. Right here. White cable markers aren't all there. There's the piano keys right here. Backtrack out of here. Traffic Wynyard, Juliet Kilo November, backtracking runway 23.
Juliet Kilo November, can you just confirm where the GA apron is?
It's on the old closed runway, right up the other end, and you should see the flying club next to it. I'll be heading there soon. Juliet Kilo November has vacated all runways. Traffic Wynyard.
Lima South Par holding short of Charlie.
Spencer seems to know where he's going.
Home.
He did a 360 on the RPT.
Yeah, that's right, Jordan. They drew a big old kangaroo at 10,000 feet out offshore. The tail of it kind of touched Port Macquarie, I think. Looked good. Looked good indeed. It'll be a great one to simulate for the guys that want to do that kind of thing. Parking brake is set. 1000 RPM. Let's drop these. Yes, someone really does need to cut that grass. It's way up past past the wings. Good stuff. Alright, let's jump on out. Make sure you don't get, you know, drowned in the grass here on the way out. And it's tie down time. Clearly nobody's cut the grass here since COVID started. It's like, it's March. I'm sure we'll get around to doing it once we're out of lockdown, and they just never have. Pito cover. Wheel trucks. Indeed, it'd be nice to just like throw the throw the aircraft in the hangar with 2 wheel chocks on it and leave. Instead, you have to do this whole stick a tent peg into the ground, hammer it in, grab some rope, tie it down. If only it was that quick. Then most of these rentals have the whole cover for the windows. And that takes forever to get on. You have to climb all over the plane. Yeah, pretty awful. Anyhow, Juliet Kilo November is here in Wynyard, along with all the other boys. We have all of us here. Look at that. This one's Lockheed over here in the nice kind of crimsony red paint. I believe this is Spencer and the Piper Cherokee. Don't know who that is in the other 172. Anyhow, now that JKN is quite happy to sit here for a little while, we will head out to the beautiful building block over here and find our way an Uber at the Wynyard Aero Club. One good thing about Wynyard Airport is it's really, really close to the town. Lachlan, you've got to send me your VHLSP so I can chuck it into my sim. Someone left the gate open. Scenic flights. Anyhow, with that said and done, that's the end of the stream for today. Next up, we're flying over some mountains and down the west coast of Tasmania, down the wild parts. Yeah, pretty good. Some point in the week after that, so the first week of August, on the 8th of August, I believe, there's a big event on VATPAC between Hobart and Launceston. We'll, of course, be flying one of these aircraft up there. But until then, we're heading down past Cradle Mountain, past Strawn and Queenstown, down to Bathurst Harbour, down the very far south end of Tassie, before we head back up towards Hobart. I'm sure I'll see you guys in the week. Stay safe. Bye for now.